What if the pyramids were never built for tombs at all, but for something far more extraordinary? Tonight, we embark on a journey through ancient mysteries and suppressed technologies, exploring evidence that suggests these monuments may have been power plants, astronomical computers, or remnants of a lost civilization with capabilities that dwarf our own. Join me as we uncover why no mummy has ever been found in any pyramid, why Tesla saw something in their design that could revolutionize energy, and why the materials and precision of their construction point to purposes beyond anything we've imagined. The truth may be more astonishing than any tomb could ever hold. Before we dive deeper into this mystery, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe. Your support helps us continue uncovering the hidden truths of our ancient world. As we descend into the shadows of conventional wisdom, let us first examine what Egyptian tombs actually looked like, and how dramatically different they are from the pyramids themselves. Walk through the Valley of the Kings, where pharaohs truly chose to spend eternity, and you'll find yourself surrounded by stories carved in stone. The tomb of Tutankhamun, discovered by Howard Carter in 1922, contained over 5,000 artifacts. Golden chariots, jewellery, furniture, and canopic jars containing the young king's organs. The walls blazed with hieroglyphs telling the story of his life, his achievements, his journey to the afterlife. Religious texts covered every surface, the Book of the Dead, prayers to guide the soul through the underworld. The tomb of Ramesses II stretches deep into the earth, its corridors adorned with elaborate paintings depicting the pharaoh's military victories, his divine nature, his eternal reign in the afterlife. Seti's tomb, perhaps the most beautiful ever discovered, is a masterpiece of ancient art. Every wall's surface covered with intricate scenes from the Egyptian Book of Gates, guiding the deceased through the 12 hours of night. These are what Egyptian tombs look like. They are biographical monuments, treasure houses, sacred spaces designed to ensure the pharaoh's comfort and protection in the afterlife. They contain everything: mummies wrapped in the finest linen, golden masks, furniture, food, wine, even ships to carry the dead across the celestial waters. Now step inside the Great Pyramid of Giza. Silence, emptiness, bare stone walls that have never known the touch of a paintbrush or the bite of a chisel forming hieroglyphs. No treasures, no artifacts, no evidence that anyone was ever buried here. The granite sarcophagus in the king's chamber sits empty, and not empty because tomb robbers found it, but empty because it was never designed to hold a body. Its dimensions don't match standard sarcophagus proportions. Its surface is unfinished, unmarked by any inscription identifying the supposed occupant. The chambers themselves feel functional rather than ceremonial. They're precisely engineered spaces with purposes that remain mysterious, but they bear no resemblance to burial chambers found anywhere else in Egypt. The so-called Queen's Chamber contains salt residue and chemical stains. The Grand Gallery rises like a great resonating hall, its walls marked by precision-cut slots that serve no decorative function. And then there's the most damning evidence of all. In over 150 years of systematic archaeology across dozens of pyramid sites throughout Egypt, Giza, Saqqara, Dahshur, Meidum, not a single mummy has ever been found. Not one. This isn't a matter of tomb robbers arriving first. Many pyramids were sealed when first opened by modern archaeologists. The Pyramid of Khafra, the Pyramid of Menkaure, the Red Pyramid at Dahshur, all opened intact, all completely empty. Meanwhile, in proper tombs throughout Egypt, archaeologists have discovered thousands of mummies, from pharaohs to commoners, perfectly preserved in their intended resting places. The construction itself defies the tomb narrative. Why source rose granite from quarries 500 miles south in Aswan? Why transport limestone casing stones from Tura, 500 miles north? Egyptian tombs used local materials because aesthetics and symbolism mattered most. But the pyramid builders chose each material for specific properties: electrical, acoustic, chemical properties that had nothing to do with burial practices. The precision is equally telling. The Great Pyramid contains an estimated 2.3 million stone blocks, weighing over 6 million tons. To complete this in the supposed 20-year reign of Khufu would require placing one block every 2 to 3 minutes, 24 hours a day, for 2 decades straight. No archaeological evidence exists of the massive workforce this would require. No worker villages, no supply chains, no tool deposits, no infrastructure to support such an enormous undertaking. The chemical residues found throughout the internal passages tell their own story. Northern shafts contain traces of hydrochloric acid. Southern shafts show deposits of hydrated zinc chloride. These aren't preservation materials or religious ointments. They're industrial chemicals, the byproducts of processes that have nothing to do with mummification or burial. As we stare into the empty chambers of these monuments, a different picture emerges. These aren't tombs at all. They're machines, sophisticated devices built for purposes our civilization has yet to understand. But if these monuments weren't built as tombs, then who possessed the knowledge to create them? The precision required defies everything we know about ancient capabilities. In the pre-dawn darkness of the Giza Plateau, as the first light touches the ancient stones, the true magnitude of what stands before us becomes clear. The Great Pyramid isn't just large, it's impossibly precise, engineered to tolerances that challenge our modern understanding of what ancient civilizations could achieve. Consider the alignment. The Great Pyramid is oriented to true north with an accuracy of just 1/15 of a degree. To put this in perspective, this level of precision requires instrumentation we didn't possess until the advent of modern surveying equipment. The builders somehow determined true north more accurately than many structures built in the 20th century. The base covers 13 acres, larger than 10 football fields, yet the entire foundation is level to within just 3/4 of an inch. Using laser technology, modern engineers have confirmed that the pyramid's base is the flattest, most perfectly level surface ever constructed on this scale. Each side measures approximately 755 feet, and the variation between the longest and shortest sides is less than 2 inches, a precision of 99.98%. But perhaps most mysteriously, the pyramid doesn't have 4 sides, it has 8. Each face is slightly concave, a detail invisible from ground level, and only detectable through aerial photography or precise measurement. This concave design serves an engineering function we're only beginning to understand, possibly related to the monument's electromagnetic properties. The mathematical relationships encoded in the structure boggle the mind. Take the pyramid's height, originally 481 feet, including its capstone, and multiply it by 43,200. The result approximates the polar radius of Earth with 99.7% accuracy. Take the base perimeter and multiply by the same number. You get Earth's equatorial circumference with 99.3% accuracy. The number 43,200 isn't arbitrary. It represents exactly half the number of seconds in a day, and it's deeply connected to the precession of equinoxes, the 25,920-year cycle during which Earth's axis slowly wobbles like a spinning top. Ancient cultures worldwide encoded this astronomical knowledge in their monuments, suggesting a global understanding of celestial mechanics that shouldn't have existed. The precision extends beyond mathematics to the very stones themselves. The casing stones that once covered the pyramid were cut and fitted so perfectly that you couldn't slip a knife blade between them. These stones, some weighing up to 15 tons, were shaped with curves and angles so complex that modern stonemasons struggle to replicate them with power tools. Inside the pyramid, the precision becomes even more extraordinary. The Grand Gallery rises at the exact same angle as the pyramid's face, 26.5 degrees, creating a perfect harmonic relationship between the internal and external geometry. The King's Chamber is positioned at the exact center of the pyramid's mass, its dimensions corresponding to mathematical ratios that appear throughout nature and architecture. Current technology required to achieve this precision includes laser leveling systems accurate to 1/16 inch over 100 feet, GPS surveying equipment accurate to within centimeters, and computer-controlled stone cutting machines. Yet we're asked to believe this was accomplished with copper tools, wooden ramps, and rope. Modern engineers who've studied the construction requirements are unanimous. The logistics are impossible using the proposed methods. Moving 2.3 million blocks, averaging 2.5 tons each, with some weighing up to 80 tons, would require a workforce in the hundreds of thousands. The ramps needed to reach the pyramid's height would contain more material than the pyramid itself. Christopher Dunn, a precision engineer with decades of machining experience, has analysed the granite surfaces inside the pyramid using precision instruments. He's found evidence of advanced machining techniques, perfectly flat surfaces, precisely drilled holes, and cuts that could only be made with diamond-tipped tools or advanced abrasives. The tolerances are tighter than many modern buildings. The stone joints show no settling or movement after 4,500 years, suggesting foundation work and engineering that surpasses contemporary standards. The internal chambers maintain their dimensions to fractions of inches despite millions of tons of stone pressing down from above. Even the missing elements tell a story. The capstone, the pyramidion, that once crowned the structure, was made of a different material than the rest of the pyramid. Ancient texts describe it as being made of electrum, an alloy of gold and silver with excellent electrical conductivity. Its removal wasn't due to weathering or theft. It was carefully extracted, suggesting it served a specific technological function. The ventilation shafts, though archaeologists still debate their purpose, are precisely angled to point to specific stars. The northern shaft of the king's chamber points to the star Thuban, which was the pole star when the pyramid was built. The southern shaft points to Orion's belt. These aren't rough approximations, but precise alignments maintained throughout the structure's height. As we contemplate these impossible tolerances, we must ask ourselves, what civilization possessed such knowledge? What drove them to encode Earth's dimensions in stone? And why choose materials and methods that suggest purposes far beyond creating a simple tomb? The precision itself becomes evidence of capabilities that challenge our timeline of human development, and purposes that transcend anything we've imagined. Yet precision is only part of the mystery. The true enigma lies in why specific materials were chosen and transported thousands of miles, materials whose properties suggest functions that have nothing to do with burial. In the hushed corridors of the Great Pyramid, every stone whispers secrets of its purpose. The builders didn't choose materials for their beauty or symbolism. They selected each type for specific physical properties that paint a picture of advanced technological understanding. The foundation and most of the pyramid's mass consists of local nummulitic limestone, a practical choice for basic construction. But the outer casing, originally covering the entire structure in a smooth, seamless shell, was built from Tura limestone, quarried 500 miles north and transported down the Nile at enormous expense and effort. Why make this journey? The answer lies in the chemistry. Tura limestone is exceptionally pure, containing virtually no magnesium. This specific composition makes it an excellent electrical insulator, creating a non-conductive shell around the entire structure. In modern electrical installations, we use similar materials to prevent electrical discharge and contain electromagnetic fields. The original pyramid, sheathed in this pristine white limestone and topped with a conductive capstone, would have presented a striking image. A gleaming insulator housing an internal mechanism, much like a massive electrical device. But it's the interior materials that reveal the pyramid's true nature. The king's chamber, queen's chamber, and the passages connecting them are lined with rose granite from the Aswan quarries. 500 miles to the south, this wasn't a decorative choice. This specific granite contains an extraordinarily high concentration of silicon dioxide, up to 85% in some samples. Silicon dioxide is quartz, and quartz possesses a remarkable property. It's piezoelectric. When subjected to pressure or vibration, quartz crystals generate electrical current. When electrical current is applied to quartz, it vibrates at precise frequencies. This property makes quartz essential in modern electronics. Every computer, smartphone, and digital watch depends on quartz crystals for timing and frequency control. The builders lined the most critical chambers with tons of this piezoelectric material. The pressure from millions of tons of limestone above would create constant compression on these quartz-rich granite surfaces. Any vibration or acoustic energy in the chambers would generate electrical fields throughout the stone. The chemical evidence grows more intriguing in the shafts leading from the Queen's chamber. Analysis has revealed specific residues: hydrochloric acid in the northern shaft, hydrated zinc chloride in the southern shaft. These aren't random deposits or preservation materials, they're the precise chemicals needed for a specific reaction. When hydrochloric acid comes into contact with zinc, it produces hydrogen gas and zinc chloride. The process is highly exothermic, generating heat and pressure. The residue patterns suggest these chemicals were once introduced through the shaft system, creating a controlled reaction in the Queen's chamber. Hydrogen gas has unique properties. It's highly combustible, but under specific conditions, it can be ionized, creating a plasma that conducts electricity. The pressure differential created by hydrogen production would force the gas through the horizontal passage connecting the Queen's chamber to the Grand Gallery, where it would encounter the piezoelectric granite surfaces. Additional chemical analysis has revealed traces of sulfuric acid and ammonium chloride throughout the internal passages. These chemicals, combined with the zinc and hydrochloric acid, create a battery-like electrochemical system. The pyramid's internal chemistry reads like a formula for electrical generation. The foundation itself tells another part of the story. The Great Pyramid sits directly over an underground aquifer, a flowing water source that creates natural acoustic vibrations as water moves through limestone caverns below. Ancient Egyptian texts describe the pyramid's location as the place of the sound, suggesting the builders were well aware of this phenomenon. Water moving through underground passages creates infrasound, low-frequency vibrations that can travel great distances and penetrate solid matter. These natural vibrations would continuously compress and decompress the piezoelectric granite chambers above, generating a steady electrical field. Early excavations discovered copper and iron rods extending from the pyramid's base down into the aquifer. Copper is an excellent electrical conductor, while iron provides magnetic properties. Together, they could channel electromagnetic fields generated by the moving water into the pyramid's internal systems. This combination, flowing water creating vibrations, piezoelectric materials generating electricity from pressure, chemical reactions producing ionized gas, and conductive metals channeling electromagnetic fields, describes not a tomb, but a sophisticated electrical generating system. The builders of the Great Pyramid understood material science at a level that rivals our modern knowledge. They knew which stones would insulate, which would generate electricity under pressure, which chemicals would react to produce specific gases, and how to harness natural geological features for power generation. Every material choice supports a single conclusion. The Great Pyramid was built as a machine, designed to harness and generate electrical energy using principles that modern science is only beginning to understand. This technological understanding didn't develop in isolation. Researchers like Christopher Dunn have spent decades analyzing these material choices and engineering techniques, uncovering evidence of a complete system designed for power generation. In the depths of mechanical engineering expertise, Christopher Dunn spent 30 years precision machining parts for the aerospace industry before turning his analytical eye toward the Great Pyramid. What he discovered challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient technology and reveals a sophisticated power generation system that would be impressive even by modern standards. Dunn's revolutionary insight came from approaching the pyramid not as an archaeologist or historian, but as an engineer who understood power systems, precision manufacturing, and industrial processes. When he analysed the pyramid's components as functional machine parts rather than ceremonial architecture, an extraordinary picture emerged. The system begins in the subterranean chamber, carved into the bedrock beneath the pyramid. This chamber sits directly above the aquifer, where flowing water creates natural acoustic vibrations. The rough-hewn walls and ceiling of this chamber aren't unfinished. They're specifically textured to amplify and channel sound waves, creating a resonating cavity that transforms the aquifer's vibrations into powerful acoustic energy. This acoustic energy travels upward through the pyramid's internal structure, reaching the Queen's chamber through carefully designed passages. The Queen's chamber functions as a reaction vessel where the chemical processes we discovered earlier take place. The northern and southern shafts deliver the precise chemicals needed, hydrochloric acid and zinc compounds, creating hydrogen gas under pressure. The hydrogen gas, generated by the chemical reaction and pressurized by the continuous acoustic input from below, is forced through the horizontal passage connecting the Queen's chamber to the Grand Gallery. As the gas moves, it becomes increasingly compressed and begins to ionize, creating a conductive plasma. The Grand Gallery itself is perhaps the most sophisticated component of the entire system. Rising 153 feet at the same angle as the pyramid's face, it functions as a massive resonating chamber. The 27 pairs of precision-cut slots along its walls once held resonators, mechanical devices tuned to specific frequencies that would amplify and focus the acoustic energy traveling up from below. Modern acoustic analysis has confirmed that the Grand Gallery resonates at approximately 110 Hz, creating a fundamental frequency that harmonizes with the Earth's natural resonance. When acoustic energy at this frequency combines with the ionized hydrogen gas flowing through the chamber, it creates ideal conditions for electromagnetic field generation. The ionized hydrogen, now compressed and electromagnetically charged, continues upward into the King's chamber. This chamber, lined entirely with piezoelectric granite and positioned at the exact center of the pyramid's mass, functions as the system's power converter. The constant pressure from millions of tons of limestone above, combined with the acoustic vibrations and electromagnetic fields generated by the hydrogen plasma, creates powerful electrical discharges within the quartz-rich granite walls. Above the King's chamber, the 5 so-called relieving chambers serve a crucial function. These chambers aren't designed to relieve structural pressure. The pyramid's geometry already distributes weight perfectly. Instead, they function as acoustic isolators and frequency tuners. Each granite beam is precisely cut and positioned to vibrate at specific frequencies, creating harmonic resonances that amplify the electrical generation below. Evidence of the system's operation remains visible today. The Grand Gallery's ceiling shows distinct scorch marks above each resonator slot, evidence of electrical discharge and plasma formation. The granite beams in the relieving chambers are cracked in patterns consistent with harmonic stress fractures, suggesting they were subjected to powerful vibrational forces. Most tellingly, the walls of the King's chamber have been pushed outward by more than an inch, indicating internal pressure and explosive forces far beyond what any burial ceremony could produce. The southern shaft of the King's chamber contains crystallized salt deposits, evidence of hydrogen gas bubbling through mineral-rich water. The acoustic properties of this shaft, precisely angled toward the constellation Orion, suggest it may have been designed to channel the generated electromagnetic energy towards specific celestial targets. The missing capstone completes the picture. Ancient texts describe it as being made of electrum, an alloy of gold and silver with excellent electrical conductivity. This capstone would have served as the system's antenna, collecting and transmitting the electromagnetic energy generated within the pyramid's chambers. Dunn's analysis suggests the system operated continuously, drawing energy from the Earth's natural processes, flowing water, geological pressure, electromagnetic fields, and converting them into usable electrical power. The precision required for such a system explains the pyramid's impossible tolerances and sophisticated material choices. The evidence of catastrophic failure supports this theory. The scorch marks, cracked beams, and displaced walls suggest the system once operated at tremendous power levels before suffering a catastrophic overload. The missing capstone may have been deliberately removed to shut down the system after this failure. Modern attempts to recreate similar systems using Tesla coils and acoustic resonators have produced electromagnetic fields measurable at significant distances. If the Great Pyramid once operated as Dunn theorizes, it would have been capable of generating and transmitting power on a scale that dwarfs our current electrical infrastructure. The implications are staggering. 4,500 years ago, a civilization possessed technology that could harness the Earth's natural energy and convert it to electrical power using principles we're only beginning to understand. This advanced understanding of energy generation and transmission wasn't lost to history. It was rediscovered by one of our most brilliant inventors, whose work was systematically suppressed for the same reasons. The pyramid's true purpose may have been hidden. In the winter of 1899, in his laboratory in Colorado Springs, Nikola Tesla made a discovery that would connect him across millennia to the builders of the Great Pyramid. Working with wireless power transmission, Tesla found that the Earth itself could serve as a conductor, carrying electrical energy across vast distances using natural resonant frequencies. Tesla's vision was revolutionary, a world where electrical power could be transmitted wirelessly, freely, to any point on the globe. His Wardenclyffe Tower project on Long Island represented the culmination of this dream, a massive electrical transmission facility designed to broadcast power through the Earth's atmosphere and crust. The parallels between Tesla's design and the Great Pyramid are striking and probably not coincidental. Tesla sited his tower over an aquifer, just as the pyramid sits over underground water sources. He drove deep grounding rods into the earth, understanding that flowing water creates electrical conductivity. The tower itself was designed to harness atmospheric electricity and natural electromagnetic fields, converting them into transmitted power. Tesla's private notebooks, studied by researchers who gained access to them decades after his death, reveal his fascination with the mathematical proportions of ancient monuments, particularly the Great Pyramid. He believed these structures embodied principles of resonance and energy transmission that predated modern electrical theory by thousands of years. The financial backing for Wardenclyffe came initially from J.P. Morgan, who believed he was funding a wireless communication system that would compete with Marconi's radio technology. But when Tesla expanded his vision to include free wireless power transmission, Morgan's support evaporated overnight. To understand why requires understanding Morgan's vast business empire. He controlled General Electric, AT&T, Western Union, copper mining operations, wire manufacturing companies, coal mines, power plants, and railroad systems. Free wireless power would destroy the economic foundation of virtually every industry Morgan dominated. Tesla's funding was cut, other investors were warned away, and his patents were systematically challenged in court. The Wardenclyffe Tower, nearly complete and requiring only final adjustments to begin broadcasting power globally, was demolished in 1917 under the pretense of national security during World War I. But Tesla's suppression was only the beginning. His death in January 1943 brought immediate government interest. FBI agents, accompanied by members of the Office of Strategic Services, the precursor to the CIA, arrived at Tesla's hotel room before his body was cold. They seized 80 boxes of carefully organised research and personal papers. The official story claims these documents were reviewed by MIT professor John Trump, uncle of future President Donald Trump, and deemed harmless. But when the boxes were returned to Tesla's estate, only 60 remained. 20 boxes of research, including Tesla's most advanced work on wireless power transmission, had simply vanished into government custody. The pattern of energy suppression didn't end with Tesla. In 1998, Stanley Meyer, inventor of a water-powered car that used electrolysis to separate hydrogen from water for fuel, died suddenly during a meeting with potential investors. His last words, according to his brother, were, "They poisoned me." The technology disappeared. Andrea Rossi's ECAT, energy catalyzer, which claimed to produce energy through low-energy nuclear reactions, faced constant regulatory challenges and patent disputes despite successful demonstrations of anomalous energy production. Randell Mills's hydrino technology, which theorizes energy production from shrinking hydrogen atoms below their ground state, has struggled to find commercial backing despite positive independent testing. The pattern repeats throughout modern history. Revolutionary energy technologies emerge, demonstrate success in controlled tests, attract government or corporate attention, then mysteriously disappear through patent challenges, regulatory obstacles, funding withdrawal, or the suspicious deaths of their inventors. The reasons are economic and political. The global energy industry represents the largest economic sector in human history, worth over $4 trillion annually. Oil, coal, nuclear, and renewable energy companies employ tens of millions of people and generate trillions in revenue. Free energy technology would collapse this entire economic structure overnight. Government interest goes beyond economics to national security. Energy independence has driven foreign policy for over a century. Wars have been fought over oil reserves, nuclear material, and strategic energy resources. A nation possessing free energy technology would achieve instant global dominance, while traditional energy powers would face economic collapse. The revolving door between energy companies and regulatory agencies ensures that disruptive technologies face immediate obstacles. Former energy executives become government regulators, then return to the private sector with greater influence. Patent offices, controlled by these same interests, can classify any energy-related invention under national security provisions. Tesla's vision of free wireless power transmission wasn't fantasy. It was engineering reality that threatened the most powerful economic interests in the world. The technology was suppressed not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well. The Great Pyramid may represent humanity's first attempt at this same technology, built by a civilization that understood energy principles we're only rediscovering. If so, its abandonment might not have been due to the fall of ancient Egypt, but to the same forces that have suppressed energy innovations throughout history. The knowledge exists, the technology is achievable, but accessing it requires overcoming not just technical challenges, but the systematic suppression of technologies that could free humanity from artificial energy scarcity. If such advanced technology existed in the distant past, we must ask ourselves, who possessed this knowledge? The conventional timeline of human civilization may be far more complex than we've been taught. In the shadow of conventional archaeology lies a growing body of evidence suggesting that human civilization is far older and more sophisticated than our textbooks acknowledge. The precision and technology embodied in the Great Pyramid may be remnants of a lost chapter in human history, one that challenges everything we think we know about our past. Graham Hancock, investigative journalist and author, has spent decades uncovering evidence of advanced prehistoric civilizations that flourished before the last ice age. His research centers on the Younger Dryas period, a sudden return to ice age conditions that began 12,800 years ago and ended just as abruptly 11,600 years ago. During this period, something catastrophic happened to Earth. Temperatures plummeted, ice sheets advanced, sea levels dropped by 400 feet, and numerous species, including North American megafauna like mammoths and saber-toothed cats, went extinct. But more intriguingly, this period also marks the emergence of complex stone monuments worldwide, as if survivors of some great civilization suddenly began rebuilding their knowledge in stone. The astronomical alignments of the Giza complex point not to 2500 BCE, when Egyptologists claim they were built, but to approximately 10,500 BCE, the end of the Younger Dryas period. The Sphinx, staring eternally eastward, would have gazed directly at the constellation, Leo rising with the sun during the spring equinox 12,500 years ago, when Leo sat on the horizon at dawn. Geological evidence supports this earlier dating. Robert Schoch, professor of geology at Boston University, has demonstrated that the weathering patterns on the Sphinx and its enclosure are consistent with heavy rainfall over extended periods. This type of erosion couldn't have occurred in the desert climate that has dominated Egypt for the past 5,000 years. The last period of significant rainfall in the region ended around 10,000 BCE. The ancient civilization theory proposes that an advanced human society developed sophisticated technology over tens of thousands of years, reaching heights of knowledge that we're only now beginning to rediscover. This civilization understood mathematics, astronomy, engineering, and energy principles at levels that allowed them to create monuments of impossible precision. Evidence for this theory lies in the sudden appearance of complex knowledge in the historical record. Agriculture, metallurgy, writing, mathematics, and astronomical observation all emerge simultaneously around 10,000 BCE, as if fully formed rather than gradually developed. This suggests knowledge transfer from a pre-existing advanced civilization rather than independent discovery. Ancient texts from cultures worldwide preserve memories of this golden age. Plato's account of Atlantis describes a maritime civilization with advanced metallurgy, architecture, and engineering that was destroyed in a single day and night. 9,000 years before his time, approximately 11,600 years ago, matching the end of the Younger Dryas period. Hindu texts describe Vimanas, flying vehicles powered by mercury engines and capable of interplanetary travel. The Mahabharata contains technical descriptions of weapons that sound remarkably like nuclear devices, complete with accounts of radiation sickness and environmental devastation. These aren't primitive mythologies, but technical manuals disguised as religious texts. Ancient Sumerian texts describe the Anunnaki, beings who came from the sky and taught humans agriculture, metallurgy, mathematics, and astronomy. While often interpreted as extraterrestrial contact, these accounts may describe advanced human teachers from a surviving technological civilization sharing knowledge with primitive survivors. The lost technology theory suggests that this ancient civilization possessed energy technologies, transportation systems, and manufacturing capabilities that we've yet to recreate. The precision machining evident in the Great Pyramid's granite surfaces, the electromagnetic properties of the structure, and the sophisticated understanding of materials, science all point to technological capabilities that were subsequently lost. The deliberate preservation of knowledge in stone monuments makes sense in this context. A civilization facing global catastrophe would encode their most important discoveries in the most permanent form possible. Massive stone structures designed to survive earthquakes, floods, and climate changes that would destroy any written record. The extraterrestrial theory, popularized by researchers like Erich von Däniken, proposes that the technological knowledge came from non-terrestrial sources. The precision of ancient monuments, the sudden appearance of complex knowledge, and the apparent impossibility of achieving such results with primitive tools suggest intervention by beings with advanced technology. Proponents point to ancient artworks depicting figures in what appear to be spacesuits, aircraft-like vehicles, and technological devices. They argue that myths of gods descending from the sky are literal historical accounts of extraterrestrial contact, with advanced beings sharing technology and knowledge with early humans. The hybrid theory combines elements of both explanations, suggesting an advanced human civilization that developed through contact with non-terrestrial intelligence. This theory proposes that extraterrestrial beings didn't simply visit Earth but established long-term relationships with human populations, sharing knowledge and technology over thousands of years. This hybrid culture might explain the sudden leaps in human capability, the global distribution of similar knowledge systems, and the consistent themes in ancient texts describing beings from the sky who taught humans advanced skills. The Great Pyramid could represent the pinnacle of this collaboration, a monument that embodies both human ingenuity and non-terrestrial knowledge. The cyclical civilization theory proposes that advanced human civilizations have risen and fallen multiple times throughout history, each leaving only fragmentary evidence of their achievements. According to this theory, we're not the first technological civilization on Earth, but merely the latest in a cycle of development, catastrophe, and rebuilding that has repeated for hundreds of thousands of years. This theory explains why we find evidence of advanced knowledge in the distant past without assuming extraterrestrial contact. Previous human civilizations, given enough time, could have developed technologies that matched or exceeded our own before being destroyed by natural catastrophes, wars, or ecological collapse. The pattern of suppressed technology we see today, revolutionary energy discoveries that mysteriously disappear or face systematic opposition, may be part of this cycle. Perhaps advanced civilizations inevitably develop technologies that threaten existing power structures, leading to suppression, conflict, and eventual collapse. Whatever the ultimate truth, the evidence increasingly points toward a far more complex and sophisticated prehistoric world than conventional archaeology acknowledges. The Great Pyramid stands as a testament to capabilities that challenge our understanding of human development, suggesting that our ancestors, whether entirely human, guided by non-terrestrial intelligence, or representing a cyclical return to advanced knowledge, possessed wisdom and technology that we're still struggling to comprehend. The monument's true builders may forever remain a mystery, but their achievement speaks to the extraordinary potential that lies within human consciousness and capability when freed from the limitations we've imposed upon ourselves. While these theories might seem extraordinary, recent scientific discoveries are providing measurable evidence that supports alternative explanations for the pyramid's true purpose. In the sterile precision of modern laboratories, equipped with instruments that can detect electromagnetic fields, analyze chemical compositions at the molecular level, and map geological structures deep beneath the Earth, scientists are uncovering evidence that validates the most extraordinary theories about the Great Pyramid. The breakthrough came in 2018 when an international team of researchers from Germany, Russia, and Australia published peer-reviewed findings in the Journal of Applied Physics. Using advanced electromagnetic modeling and radio wave analysis, they proved that the Great Pyramid can concentrate electromagnetic energy in its internal chambers and beneath its base. The study employed numerical modeling to simulate how radio waves interact with the pyramid structure at resonant frequencies between 200 and 600 meters. The results were unambiguous. The pyramid focuses electromagnetic energy with extraordinary efficiency, creating concentrated fields in precisely the chambers that Christopher Dunn identified as functional components of a power generation system. Dr. Andrei Evlukin from ITMO University, one of the study's lead authors, noted that the pyramid's ability to concentrate electromagnetic energy may be important for designing nanoparticles that can reproduce similar effects in the optical range. The research has direct applications for developing new optical devices and sensors, suggesting that ancient builders understood electromagnetic principles that we're only now beginning to apply. geological evidence supports the advanced age theories. Robert Schoch's analysis of the Sphinx weathering patterns has been corroborated by additional geological studies showing that the Giza Plateau experienced significant water erosion during the African humid period, which ended approximately 3,900 years ago, still more recent than the erosion evidence suggests. Seismic surveys of the Giza Plateau have revealed a complex network of underground chambers and passages beneath the pyramids and Sphinx. Ground-penetrating radar and acoustic sounding have detected large voids that don't appear on any ancient maps or modern archaeological surveys. These hidden chambers may contain technologies or artifacts that could revolutionize our understanding of ancient capabilities. Chemical analysis using mass spectrometry has identified specific industrial compounds throughout the pyramid's internal passages. The hydrochloric acid and zinc chloride residues found in the Queen's Chamber shafts show isotopic signatures consistent with specific chemical processes rather than natural mineral deposits or organic preservation materials. More intriguingly, trace elements detected in the granite include rare earth metals that don't occur naturally in Aswan granite. These elements, including traces of lithium, cesium, and strontium, are essential components of modern electrical systems and semiconductors. Their presence suggests either advanced ancient metallurgy or contamination from unknown technological processes. Carbon dating of organic materials found within the pyramid structure has yielded inconsistent results that span thousands of years. Some samples date to the supposed construction period around 2500 BCE, while others are significantly older, suggesting either contamination from earlier structures or multiple construction phases spanning millennia. Astronomical analysis using modern computer modelling has confirmed the precision of the pyramid's stellar alignments. The northern shaft of the King's Chamber pointed directly to Thuban when it was the pole star, approximately 2600 BCE. However, the southern shaft's alignment to Orion's belt was most precise around 10,500 BCE, supporting theories of much earlier construction, or at least earlier planning. The isotopic analysis of the limestone blocks has revealed something extraordinary. While most blocks show consistent ratios, typical of local quarries, approximately 5% show isotopic signatures that don't match any known Egyptian limestone sources. These anomalous blocks are concentrated in the most technically sophisticated areas of the pyramid: the King's Chamber, Queen's Chamber, and Grand Gallery, suggesting they were specially selected or processed for specific properties. Electromagnetic field measurements, taken continuously over several years, have detected fluctuations that correlate with solar activity, lunar phases, and seasonal changes. The pyramid appears to respond to celestial electromagnetic influences in ways that random stone structures shouldn't, indicating intentional design for electromagnetic sensitivity. Recent analysis using advanced ground-penetrating radar has revealed that the pyramid sits atop a complex geological structure that includes natural limestone caverns, underground water channels, and mineral deposits that create electromagnetic anomalies. This geological foundation appears to have been specifically chosen for its electrical properties. Independent verification of Christopher Dunn's acoustic analysis has confirmed that the Grand Gallery exhibits resonant properties at frequencies that match Earth's natural electromagnetic pulse. The Schumann resonance at approximately 7.83 Hz and its harmonics. When acoustic energy is introduced at these frequencies, the granite surfaces show measurable electrical discharge. Perhaps most significantly, recent atmospheric measurements around the Giza Plateau have detected ionospheric disturbances that correlate with solar maximum periods. These disturbances create temporary electromagnetic fields that interact with the pyramid structure, generating measurable electrical fields in the surrounding area. The scientific evidence, accumulated through decades of measurement and analysis using the most sophisticated instruments available, supports the most extraordinary conclusion. The Great Pyramid was indeed designed and built as a technological device, one that interacts with natural electromagnetic fields in ways that our civilization is only beginning to understand. Yet the pyramids of Giza aren't unique in their sophisticated engineering and mysterious purposes. Around the world, similar monuments suggest technologies that transcend individual cultures and point toward universal principles of energy and consciousness. As we delve deeper into the pyramid's mysteries, evidence emerges of functions that extend beyond simple power generation into realms that touch the very nature of consciousness, healing, and cosmic communication. The monument appears to have been designed as a multifunctional device, each aspect serving purposes that we're only beginning to comprehend. Robert Bauval's groundbreaking research revealed that the three pyramids of Giza mirror the arrangement of the three stars in Orion's belt, Al-Nitak, Al-Nilam, and Mintaka. But this isn't merely symbolic. The correlation is precise to a degree that suggests the pyramids function as a terrestrial star map, encoding astronomical information in their physical layout. The shafts extending from the king's and queen's chambers aren't ventilation systems. They're precisely aimed at specific stars and constellations. The southern shaft from the king's chamber targets Orion's belt, while the northern shaft points to the pole star. The queen's chamber shafts align with Sirius and the star Kochab in the Little Dipper. These alignments weren't arbitrary. They represent a sophisticated astronomical computer built in stone. The mathematical relationships encoded in the pyramid's dimensions go far beyond Earth's measurements. The structure incorporates pi, the golden ratio, and other fundamental constants that govern natural phenomena throughout the universe. These relationships suggest the pyramid was designed to serve as a repository of advanced mathematical and astronomical knowledge, preserved in imperishable stone for future civilizations. Modern practitioners of meditation and consciousness research have reported extraordinary experiences within the king's chamber. The space exhibits unique acoustic properties that generate infrasound, low-frequency vibrations below the range of human hearing that can profoundly affect consciousness and perception. Dr. Robert Jahn, former Dean of Engineering at Princeton University, conducted experiments on the effects of specific electromagnetic frequencies on human consciousness. His research suggests that the combination of electromagnetic fields and infrasonic vibrations found in the pyramid could induce altered states of consciousness, enhanced intuition, and expanded awareness. The chamber's dimensions create standing wave patterns that resonate at frequencies known to affect brainwave activity. The granite walls, with their high quartz content, generate piezoelectric fields when subjected to acoustic pressure. Visitors often report sensations of energy, heightened perception, and profound meditative states that last for hours after leaving the chamber. Ancient Egyptian texts describe the pyramid as a place of initiation, where individuals underwent transformative experiences that granted them access to higher knowledge. The pyramid texts, among the oldest religious writings in the world, speak of the pharaoh's soul traveling through the pyramid to join with the gods among the stars. These may not be metaphorical descriptions, but literal accounts of consciousness-altering technologies. The healing properties of pyramidal structures have been studied extensively since the 1970s. Small-scale pyramid models demonstrate measurable effects on plant growth, food preservation, and even the crystallization patterns of water. While the mechanisms aren't fully understood, the effects appear related to the concentration and focusing of subtle electromagnetic fields. The Great Pyramid's location at the intersection of the 30th parallel north and the 31st meridian east places it at the center of the world's landmass. This positioning isn't coincidental. It represents the optimal location for global communication and energy transmission. Ancient texts describe the pyramid as the navel of the world, the center from which knowledge and power radiated to all corners of the earth. The missing capstone, the pyramidion, may have served as more than just an electromagnetic antenna. Ancient descriptions suggest it was a complex device incorporating multiple materials and possibly crystalline structures. If the pyramid was designed for consciousness research, the capstone might have focused not just electromagnetic energy, but subtle energies that affect human awareness and perception. Recent research into quantum field effects suggests that large crystalline structures, like the pyramid's granite chambers, could serve as quantum information storage devices. The precise molecular lattices in quartz crystals can theoretically maintain quantum states for extended periods, potentially storing information at the subatomic level. This quantum storage capability could explain the pyramid's apparent ability to preserve knowledge across millennia. Rather than storing information in hieroglyphs or text that could be destroyed or misinterpreted, the builders may have encoded knowledge directly into the quantum structure of the monument itself. The pyramid's multiple functions, power generation, astronomical computation, consciousness alteration, healing, communication, and information storage, suggest a level of technological integration that we've yet to achieve in our modern civilization. It represents a holistic approach to technology that addresses not just material needs, but the full spectrum of human potential. As we stand in the silence of these ancient chambers, we might be surrounded by technologies that could revolutionize not just our understanding of energy and physics, but our comprehension of consciousness itself and humanity's true capabilities. This sophisticated understanding of energy, consciousness, and technology wasn't limited to Egypt. Around the world, similar monuments demonstrate that this knowledge was once global in scope. Across the continents, scattered like pieces of an ancient puzzle, pyramid structures rise from landscapes as diverse as jungle and desert, mountain and plain. Their presence on every inhabited continent suggests not isolated development, but a shared knowledge system that once spanned the globe. In the misty hills of Bosnia, the Bosnian Pyramid of the Sun towers over the town of Visoko, recently recognized as potentially the largest pyramid ever constructed. Dr. Semir Osmanagic's controversial excavations have revealed worked stone blocks, internal chambers, and electromagnetic anomalies that mirror those found at Giza. Carbon dating of organic material from the site suggests construction over 12,000 years ago, predating the accepted timeline of European civilization by millennia. The pyramid exhibits electromagnetic properties identical to those measured in Egypt. The apex generates a focused beam of electromagnetic energy that extends vertically into the atmosphere, detectable by sensitive instruments at significant altitude. The structure sits over an extensive network of underground tunnels carved from solid rock, creating acoustic chambers that amplify natural earth frequencies. Halfway around the world, in the jungles of Guatemala, the massive pyramid complex of El Mirador rivals Giza in scope and exceeds it in volume. The La Danta pyramid complex, built by the Maya over 2,000 years ago, contains more stone than the Great Pyramid and demonstrates mathematical precision that rivals Egyptian achievements. Yet the Maya supposedly possessed no metal tools, no wheels, and no beasts of burden. The precision extends beyond construction to astronomical alignment. Mayan pyramids throughout Central America align with the same celestial targets as their Egyptian counterparts: Orion's belt, the Pleiades, and seasonal solar positions. The correlation suggests shared astronomical knowledge, despite the supposed impossibility of contact between these civilizations. In Peru, the mystery deepens at sites like Sacsayhuaman and Ollantaytambo, where megalithic walls incorporate stones weighing hundreds of tons, cut and fitted with precision that challenges modern capabilities. The stones bear no tool marks, suggesting cutting techniques beyond conventional archaeology's understanding. The walls have survived earthquakes that destroyed modern buildings, indicating engineering knowledge that exceeds current seismic construction standards. The Nazca lines nearby add another dimension to the mystery. These massive ground drawings, visible only from the air, include geometric patterns and straight lines that extend for miles across the desert. Recent analysis has revealed that many lines align with underground water sources, suggesting they served a technological purpose related to water management or energy transmission. China's hidden pyramids, long denied by the government but now acknowledged through satellite imagery, include structures that dwarf the Egyptian monuments. The White Pyramid, visible in declassified military photographs, appears to be over 300 meters tall, twice the height of the Great Pyramid. These structures align with the cardinal directions and demonstrate the same mathematical relationships found in pyramids worldwide. The Shandong Peninsula contains dozens of smaller pyramids arranged in patterns that mirror stellar configurations. Archaeological investigation has been limited, but initial analysis suggests sophisticated internal chamber systems and the same electromagnetic anomalies found at other pyramid sites worldwide. In Indonesia, Gunung Padang represents perhaps the most enigmatic pyramid structure discovered to date. Recent archaeological surveys using ground-penetrating radar have revealed a massive artificial structure buried beneath what was previously thought to be a natural hill. Carbon dating suggests construction phases spanning thousands of years, with the oldest sections potentially dating to the end of the last ice age. The structure exhibits the same electromagnetic properties found at other pyramid sites, generating focused energy beams and responding to solar activity. Geological analysis reveals that the entire hill is artificial, constructed using precisely placed megalithic stones arranged in complex geometric patterns. Even Europe, supposedly pyramid-free, contains structures that challenge conventional understanding. The Monte de Codi in Sardinia, built over 5,000 years ago, demonstrates astronomical alignments and construction techniques that predate similar developments elsewhere in Europe. The Silbury Hill in England, while earth-built rather than stone, shows the same precise mathematical proportions found in stone pyramids worldwide. The common elements linking these global structures are remarkable in their consistency. Precise astronomical alignments to the same stellar targets, mathematical relationships encoding universal constants, electromagnetic anomalies, and energy-focusing properties, similar internal chamber configurations, construction techniques that exceed supposed technological capabilities of their time periods, and positioning over geological features that enhance electromagnetic properties. The probability of independent development of identical solutions to complex engineering problems across isolated civilizations is mathematically negligible. The evidence points to shared knowledge, possibly originating from a single source that possessed advanced understanding of mathematics, astronomy, engineering, and electromagnetic phenomena. Cultural disconnection makes this shared knowledge even more mysterious. The civilizations that built these monuments supposedly had no contact with each other, no shared written languages, no evidence of communication or trade, no common cultural or religious traditions. Yet they encoded identical information in stone monuments built using identical techniques. The global flood myths, found in virtually every ancient culture, may preserve memories of the catastrophe that ended this global civilization. From the Mesopotamian epic of Gilgamesh to biblical accounts to Native American legends, stories describe a worldwide deluge that destroyed an advanced civilization, leaving only scattered survivors to rebuild from the ruins. These monuments may represent humanity's attempt to preserve essential knowledge through a global catastrophe, encoding information in the most permanent form possible. Massive stone structures positioned to survive earthquakes, floods, and climate changes that would destroy any other record. Standing before these monuments, scattered across the globe, yet united in their precision and purpose, we must confront the possibility that human civilization is far older and more sophisticated than our history books acknowledge. We may be not the first advanced civilization on Earth, but merely the latest in a cycle of knowledge, catastrophe, and rebirth that is repeated for millennia. In the silence that follows our journey through ancient mysteries and suppressed technologies, we find ourselves standing at the threshold of a profound realization. The evidence we've examined, from the impossible precision of the Great Pyramid to the global distribution of similar monuments, from Tesla's suppressed innovations to modern electromagnetic discoveries, converges on a single, extraordinary conclusion. The pyramids were never built for tombs. The absence of mummies, the industrial chemicals, the electromagnetic properties, the astronomical alignments, the piezoelectric materials. Every piece of evidence points towards sophisticated technological devices designed for purposes that transcend anything our conventional history acknowledges. We've seen how Christopher Dunn's engineering analysis reveals a complete power generation system, how Tesla's wireless energy transmission mirrors ancient principles, how materials were chosen for electrical properties rather than aesthetic appeal. We've examined scientific studies proving the pyramid's ability to focus electromagnetic energy, geological evidence suggesting far greater antiquity, and chemical analysis revealing industrial processes rather than burial preparations. The global pyramid phenomenon suggests knowledge that once spanned continents, encoded in stone by civilizations that understood principles we're only beginning to rediscover. From Bosnia to Peru, from China to Egypt, precision monuments demonstrate mathematical relationships, electromagnetic properties, and construction techniques that challenge our timeline of human development. Perhaps most significantly, we've uncovered a pattern of technological suppression that extends from ancient times to the present day. Just as the pyramid's true purpose may have been deliberately obscured, revolutionary energy technologies continue to face systematic suppression by interests that profit from artificial scarcity. The implications reach far beyond archaeology or ancient history. If our ancestors possessed the knowledge to harness Earth's natural energy, to encode information in quantum crystal structures, to build devices that interact with consciousness itself, then we are not progressing toward an advanced future. We are struggling to reclaim a sophisticated past. The key to humanity's energy future may indeed lie not in developing new technologies, but in understanding the ancient ones we've forgotten. The pyramids stand as monuments not to the dead, but to the living potential within human civilization, a potential that has been suppressed, hidden, and nearly lost, but never entirely destroyed. What if the greatest technology ever developed is indeed sitting in plain sight, waiting for a generation wise enough to understand its true purpose? What if the conspiracy isn't about hiding aliens or secret societies, but about concealing our own magnificent heritage? In the end, perhaps the most profound mystery isn't who built the pyramids, but why we've forgotten that we are capable of building them ourselves. I invite you to share your thoughts on this ancient mystery in the comments below. Do you believe the pyramids serve purposes beyond burial? What evidence do you find most compelling? Your insights help us all piece together humanity's forgotten story. If this journey through ancient mysteries has sparked your curiosity, please like this video and subscribe to help us reach 1,000 subscribers. Together, we'll continue exploring the hidden truths that await rediscovery in our magnificent past, until we meet again in the realm of these unsolved mysteries. Sweet dreams, fellow guardians of human wisdom.